Mercedes-AMG just teased an electric SUV nobody expected. And this one could become its most dangerous EV, because AMG isn't building another ordinary luxury crossover. It's taking its newest electric performance technology higher, much higher than the four-door coupe it follows. The first teaser reveals almost nothing about the vehicle, yet somehow it tells us exactly where AMG's heading. The silhouette is unmistakably taller than AMG's new GT, but the attitude remains unmistakably performance-focused and aggressive. And that's where this story becomes genuinely interesting. Mercedes-AMG already has an electric performance formula. The new GT four-door coupe is proof. It uses AMG's dedicated AMG.EA electric performance architecture. And underneath sits an unusually sophisticated three-motor system. Two motors drive the rear axle independently. Another motor powers the front axle directly. Together, they create a completely different performance philosophy. The flagship GT63 produces 1,153 horsepower. Mercedes says 0 to 60 takes just 2 seconds. That is supercar territory wearing a four-door body. Now imagine that technology inside an SUV. That's the question Mercedes-AMG wants everyone asking right now. The company has officially teased the new SUV, but AMG hasn't revealed its final specifications yet, so anything beyond the teaser remains speculation. And that's important when discussing what's coming next, because the obvious assumptions are also the most interesting. This SUV appears closely related to the AMG GT. Its lighting signature strongly hints at that relationship. The three-pointed star motif appears integrated into its lighting. The proportions, however, completely change the equation. Instead of a low-performance coupe, AMG gets height. Instead of sacrificing practicality, it gains presence. And instead of fighting Porsche exclusively, AMG expands. The target suddenly becomes much broader than sports sedans. Think high-performance luxury SUVs with enormous price tags. Think Porsche's fastest electric performance machines. Think powerful BMW M and Mercedes-AMG alternatives. But this Mercedes could approach the segment differently, because AMG isn't simply electrifying an existing gasoline SUV. It's using architecture designed specifically around electric performance. That distinction matters more than the badge itself. Traditional SUVs often begin with compromises baked underneath: battery packaging, combustion layouts, transmissions, cooling, and weight. AMG.EA was created around electric performance from scratch. That gives Mercedes engineers dramatically different opportunities. The GT already demonstrates what that philosophy can deliver. Its three motors aren't simply there for headline numbers. They allow extremely precise torque distribution across the vehicle. That could become incredibly important inside an SUV. An SUV has a higher center of gravity. Its body is taller, heavier, and less naturally aerodynamic. So controlling every wheel becomes even more important. And this is where AMG could have an advantage. The company already talks about performance beyond horsepower. Its electric architecture emphasizes repeatable performance and control. That's crucial when an EV gets pushed repeatedly. One fast acceleration run isn't enough anymore. Luxury performance buyers expect consistency as well, and AMG is clearly engineering around that expectation. The new GT uses advanced battery cooling technology. It also uses extremely fast charging capabilities. Mercedes-AMG quotes charging speeds reaching 600 kilowatts. That could eventually make the SUV surprisingly usable, because performance means little if charging becomes frustrating, especially for wealthy buyers who travel long distances. The new GT also offers enormous WLTP range. Mercedes-AMG quotes up to 696 kilometers for the GT63. That's roughly 433 miles under the WLTP cycle. Real-world American range will naturally be different, but the underlying ambition is already obvious. AMG doesn't want electric performance to mean compromise. It wants electricity to become the performance advantage. And that philosophy could completely change this SUV. Because SUVs are already the luxury market's dominant body style. The buyers are there, the money is there, and the appetite for performance is absolutely there. Mercedes simply needs to combine those ingredients correctly. The teaser suggests AMG understands that opportunity. The vehicle appears broad, planted, and aggressively proportioned. Its front lighting echoes the new GT four-door. The rear lighting appears similarly connected to AMG's language. Even hidden beneath the covering, the stance looks serious. But the biggest question remains completely unanswered. How extreme will AMG actually make this SUV? Mercedes could offer multiple performance versions eventually. The GT four-door already provides an obvious blueprint. There is a lower output dual motor configuration available there. and the flagship version reaches extraordinary performance levels. Whether the SUV receives identical hardware remains unconfirmed, but the technical relationship makes the possibility fascinating. Imagine an electric SUV approaching 1,200 horsepower. Imagine independent rear motors managing corner exits. Imagine AMG software controlling every wheel continuously. Imagine that performance wrapped inside a practical body. That combination would be difficult for competitors to ignore. But AMG has another problem to solve: weight. Electric performance SUVs are rarely lightweight machines. Batteries are heavy. Luxury equipment adds more weight. Large wheels, cooling hardware, and reinforced structures add more. And aerodynamic SUV shapes create additional challenges. So raw horsepower alone won't make this vehicle special. The engineering challenge is making mass feel invisible. That's where AMG's new architecture becomes genuinely important. The GT 4-door uses sophisticated active aerodynamic technology. It also offers rear-wheel steering and advanced suspension systems. Those systems could become even more valuable here, because an SUV needs agility without sacrificing stability, especially when its performance approaches supercar territory. And AMG has already demonstrated that philosophy elsewhere. The new GT isn't designed merely for straight-line acceleration. It's designed to behave like an AMG. That distinction will define this SUV. If AMG succeeds, the result could be extraordinary. If it fails, it could become another heavy-performance EV. And wealthy buyers have plenty of alternatives. Porsche has already proven performance. SUVs can command enormous prices. BMW continues pushing electric luxury into performance territory. Lucid has shown how brutally quick luxury EVs can become. Tesla normalized ridiculous acceleration in family-sized vehicles. Mercedes-AMG now has to offer something beyond speed. It needs character. It needs identity. And most importantly, it needs AMG's emotional appeal. That may actually be harder with electric power, because AMG built its reputation around engines, sound, mechanical violence, gear changes, turbocharged torque, and the unmistakable personality of combustion power. Now AMG is trying to recreate that emotion differently. The new GT already provides some clues. Mercedes has developed software that simulates shifting sensations. It can also reproduce an artificial combustion-inspired soundtrack. Some enthusiasts will love that approach. Others will immediately question whether it feels authentic. The SUV will face exactly the same debate. Can an electric AMG still feel like an AMG? That is arguably the most important question here, because horsepower is becoming increasingly easy to manufacture. Emotional performance is much harder. Anyone can make an electric motor accelerate violently. The difficult part is making the driver care. AMG knows that. That's why this SUV matters beyond its specifications. It represents a test of AMG's entire electric identity. And Mercedes is entering this fight at an interesting moment. The electric luxury market is changing quickly. Early EV buyers wanted maximum range and technology. Now, performance buyers are demanding something different. They want speed without sacrificing personality. They want luxury without feeling disconnected from driving. And they increasingly want vehicles that feel special. That's exactly the territory AMG understands best. The teaser's timing makes the message even clearer. Mercedes-AMG isn't hiding from electric performance. It's expanding aggressively into it. And the SUV could become its most commercially important example. Because unlike a four-door performance coupe, SUVs sell. They dominate premium markets across America. They dominate luxury markets across Europe as well. And buyers are willing to spend heavily for exclusivity. That makes an AMG electric SUV potentially extremely valuable.